Hi, I'm Nicholeen Peck, and I teach about parenting and family communication all over the world through the lens of self-government. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about getting teens to do housework. In this video, I'm going to be talking about my children and their attitudes about work and how we helped create an environment where they would want to do work. Teaching children to work is vital for good character development. In fact, work is the antidote for a sick character. Working with your children, teaching them to understand the value of hard work and to not mind doing it is going to help them with their character their entire lives. In fact, there is nothing that increases confidence more than good, hard work. So in our family, we do lots of work. I wanted my children to have a good work ethic. I wanted them to feel like they were strong and capable, and so I knew that I needed to help them get to work. It always surprises me how parents will say, "Oh, I want my child to have a good work ethic." And then when I say to them something like, "Well, how about you have them do this for a chore?" Or, "What about them earning an extra chore?" They look at me like with a blank stare, as if I had just suggested something that was completely out of the normal. So parents want their children to have a good work ethic, but they don't actually want them to work. And I think that's because it's easier if we do work ourselves and don't pass it along to the children. When children learn to work, there has to be a teacher, someone who's going to be teaching them to do the work and who will oversee the work to make sure it's done properly. So there is a difference between working and then work that's done well. So some people will put in some effort on something, but if it's half-hearted, is it really good work? I say no. So that means the children have to know the difference. The only way for them to know that difference is by steady correction, training, and some good mentoring on the parts of the parents. I think most people would choose to do some sort of leisure activity that's like fun, right? As opposed to digging post holes for a fence or cleaning out a garage. I mean, that's just kind of the human condition. We like things that entertain us, that please us, that feel relaxing or comfortable. However, what work feels like after we're done oftentimes surpasses those feelings of ease and comfort or entertainment. When we know that we have done a job well, that we have followed something all the way through to the end, it actually empowers us to do more things. We feel more capable to solve our problems. We feel our capacities actually grow. The way that a person grows their capacity is either through skill development or experiences. Work gives us the opportunity to develop more skills and to have more problem-solving experiences. So work is the perfect way to build our capacities, which in the end increases our confidence level. Years ago, I starred in a BBC documentary called The World's Strictest Parents. And in this documentary, two 17-year-olds from Britain came to stay at our home for 8 days. In our home, if somebody needs a correction and earns a negative consequence, 9 times out of 10, that negative consequence is going to be an extra chore. So James and Hannah, who came from Britain to stay in our home, got the opportunity to earn multiple extra chores. At first, this was a little bit shocking. In fact, there was a lot of complaining. But after a while, I saw a transformation occur because they were getting the opportunity to do work that they had never done before. I'm going to talk about some tips for what you can do to get your teens to do housework, as well as how I got the 17-year-old British teen James to enjoy some housework. But before I do that, click that subscribe button. You're not going to want to miss the videos on this channel that will help you with all kinds of things, not just housework, but also how you can bond with your child and have more calm corrections and good communication. So click subscribe now. So back to my story about James. So James earned an extra chore as a negative consequence one day because he wasn't following an instruction when my husband gave him an instruction. So he calmly told James that he was going to get the opportunity to earn an extra chore. James had already done multiple extra chores, so he was used to it, but this time it was different. He said, "James, for your extra chore, you get to clean the bathroom." James immediately stopped and said, "Okay, may I disagree appropriately?" Because we taught him the skill for how to disagree appropriately, which is one of our top-notch self-government skills. Anyway, Spencer said yes, and James said, "Spencer, I understand that you want me to clean the bathroom, but I've never cleaned a bathroom before. Could you teach me how to do it?" And Spencer said, "Yeah, absolutely. Of course I could." Spencer showed James how to clean the bathroom, and then he took James to another bathroom in our home and gave him the opportunity to clean that bathroom by himself. Well, I happened to be walking by as James was stepping back to take a look at his job that was well done. And he was so pleased with himself. He turned and he said, "Nicholeen, come here, come look at this." And I said, "Okay." And he said, "Look at this, look at that shine, look what I did over here." And so I was praising him for all the things that I saw. And he said, "I did such a good job at this." He says, "I'm going to go home and I'm going to clean the bathroom at my house and my mom is going to die." He was so excited about it. He had a new skill. He had confidence. He felt empowered. That is what work can do for people. So let's talk about what type of system we can put in place to help our teens do some of that housework that they may be a little reticent to do. It's no surprise to modern parents that teens might not want to do their housework. They get busy. They're caught up in all kinds of extracurricular activities. Their social life oftentimes is into overdrive, especially if they're really focusing on staying away from all of that digital stuff that gets in the way. And so because of that and getting ready to launch into adulthood, have jobs, all of those kinds of things that are part of adolescence, they start feeling like, well, I already know how to do chores. I don't really want to do chores anymore. And so they'll let some of those things slide by. Well, a wise parent does not just allow that to happen, but make sure that you address it every time and helps the child see where they need to still contribute as part of the family. It's important, otherwise they start developing some bad laziness skills and some entitlement. So what should we do? In our family, we teach 4 basic skills for a person. These 4 basic skills help them learn how to govern themselves. They are the skills following instructions, accepting no answers and criticism, accepting consequences, and disagreeing appropriately. All 4 of these 4 basic skills are going to be helpful when a person is needing to do housework. So let's say a child is playing a video game and it's time to do housework. So the parent can come to the child and say, "I'm giving you an instruction. I need you to do this chore," whatever it happens to be. Now, the child knows the steps to following an instruction. They are to look at the person, keep a calm face, voice, and body, say okay or ask to disagree appropriately, do the task immediately, and then check back. So that child can do all of those steps. But let's say the child would really rather just play the video game. Then the child can use the disagree appropriately skill to talk to the parent about timing and maybe postponing that chore for a different time. Let's say the child is getting ready to do that chore, whatever it is, that task that they've been asked to do, and they start feeling like they just don't want to leave the game. If they could just get done with this one level or whatever it is, they are going to have to give themselves a no answer for the game right then. They can't go back to it. And you know what? If they don't follow the instruction to begin with, then guess what? They get the opportunity to use the skill accepting consequences, because the parent is going to do a calm, effective correction. And as part of that calm, effective correction, they give their child the opportunity to earn another extra chore. So if the child doesn't want to do the work in the first place, they're going to be doing more work afterward. I know some parent is probably thinking, yeah, my child's so oppositional that they wouldn't even care and they just never do any of it. Well, I do have other videos for that, all about how to handle oppositional defiance, out of control behaviors. Definitely check out things on the rule of 3, because that's going to be needed in those circumstances. But the majority of teens, they recognize the logic behind not waiting and they just go ahead and take care of it. Now, why would they want to have a job well done in the first place? Well, that's because hopefully you've created a culture that's a work culture in your environment so that they like things to be clean and tidy, and they know that there is a time and a place for everything, including work. As I have watched my children grow and become mature, I have seen the role that work has played in their lives. At some point or another, every one of my children have come to me and said, "Mom, thank you so much for teaching me to work. Thank you for making sure that I knew how to do everything at the house, inside and out. I can grow something from nothing. I can repair basic things. I can mend clothes. I can cook things. And you know what I've found is that none of my roommates can do any of those things. And they've said to me, it's as if they're disabled. And it's true. If you don't teach a person the freedom that comes with work, then it's as if they're going to have a disability that they have to try to overcome their entire lives. My children have had confidence and increased amounts of success in their adult lives because they know how to work, because they got the opportunity to work a lot with a family and by themselves in our home. If you would like your children to learn some of these 4 basic skills, then I have a full class that you will probably be interested in. The next video you should watch is a video called The Not So Known Secret for Parenting Success. In that video, I'll talk more about the skills that I've already mentioned, as well as best practices in calmly correcting your children and how you and your child can have better calmness and self-government on a daily basis. So click on the link to the Not So Known Secret for Parenting Success now.